Hey, girlfriend, you know who you are. You have big, big dreams. You want to write a book, stand on a TED Talk stage, be a life coach offering wisdom from your RV in Montana, a cafe in Barcelona, or a beach chair in Tulum. Your other girlfriends and your family, they don't always get your biz savvy. Why do you want to leave your JOB? Because you're a C.A.T.S, aka coach, author, thought leader, and speaker. Meet other change makers like yourself and find out how they make it happen. This is the Big Meow podcast.
Hello, friends. I'm Kristen White, and I'm here today with Therese Gopaul-Robinson. And Therese, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Kristen. How are you?
I'm great. So your business is in healthcare. Tell me a little bit about it and who you work with.
I'm a healthcare consultant and I work with healthcare staffing organizations, and I focus more on process improvement, change management, and supporting them with leadership development. And then I also work with healthcare leaders, providing them with coaching and just really helping them kind of solve the problems that they're facing as leaders today.
What are some of the problems that are happening in the healthcare industry? I can imagine there's been a lot of them, especially after the last couple of years.
So honestly, in healthcare, it's just so much coming at healthcare leaders on a daily basis, right? So it's not just the clinical leaders, it's also the administrative healthcare leaders. And so everything from, dealing with the shortages of clinicians and also meeting the needs of hospitals and clients on a daily basis. And then also trying to keep employees engaged. So how do we keep folks engaged in an environment that is so extremely fast-paced and stressful? And so I provide a lot of my clients with some of those tools and step-by-step tools that help them kind of rein it all in, keep focused, but also to keep people engaged and actually wanting to show up and be there every single day.
So what inspired you to start your business, as an entrepreneur in this direction?
So it's kind of a funny story. So there was less inspiration and it was more like I was forced into it. And it happened in January of 2021 when I was fired on the same day that I was going to ask for a promotion.
Wow.
That really
You have
happened.
To tell us a little bit about that story.
That legitimately really happened.
Wow.
I was with an organization. We were doing really well. Obviously, I was in healthcare and we were, in the midst of the pandemic. But my team was winning and we were doing some really great things. And I finally mustered up enough courage to say, I believe that I have proven myself at this point and it's time, right? It's time. And that, honestly, Kristen, that required me to overcome a lot of my own imposter syndrome that I was dealing with for my entire career. And so I finally mustered up the courage, had this gorgeous PowerPoint presentation ready, got on the call and was ready to do it. And I was told that they were laying me off. And so,
God.
I still have that PowerPoint presentation. I can't let it go.
No, but that's for the archives.
Yeah, really. And so I was fired on the same day that I was going to ask for a promotion. And honestly, after the first week of, hating everybody and being really just upset and just feeling like a failure, I realized that, this was the best thing that ever happened because I was in a really bad place in my life at that point. And I didn't feel empowered and I just felt really beat up at that point in my career. And I knew that I didn't want to work for someone anymore. And I also knew that I couldn't be the only person out there in this industry that felt the way that I felt every single day. And that was really kind of how it started. I just said, you know what, that's it. I'm not working for anyone anymore. I am going to only focus on the things that I really enjoyed about my job. And I'm going to focus on helping people that are dealing with what I dealt with for my 20 plus years in my career.
Wow. I call that being drop kicked by the universe.
Oh, yeah. Sucker punch, drop kick, drag, punched, all the things. Yeah, for sure.
And I think that is just such a valid point, Therese, is that when we want to go out on our own, we may dream about it or think about it, but sometimes it takes that outside force to get us moving in that direction. What would you say to other cats like us, coaches, authors, thought leaders, and speakers who are thinking about just leaving that job and getting out and doing your own thing?
Yeah. For me, it was something that I thought about for years. And I honestly, if I'm being honest, I wasn't courageous enough to do it. And that comes back to what I said before, right? I was struggling with like my own version of imposter syndrome. And if you know anything about that,
Oh
like
yeah.
you're just not good enough, right? So there's no way that I was going to do it. So I was forced into it. But what I would say to other folks who are thinking about doing it, I would say, do it. Maybe don't quit your job. So don't quit today, please. Don't do that. It has to make sense for you financially. But you can have a job and start your own business. I don't know where we got this message along the way that it needed to be either or. So you can have your full-time job and follow your dreams and pursue some other things. And then eventually, if it makes sense for you financially, then you move on. Some people choose to keep both, not even for financial reasons, but because they work for an organization that they love, but they also have this passion. And so they do both. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's no right way to do it. It's just whatever is right for you, for sure.
Therese, that's fantastic advice. Hold on, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by C.A.T.S Network.
So let's jump in. What is your personal philosophy on life?
My personal philosophy, nothing asked, nothing given. That's it. That's really it. If I don't ask for it, if I don't go for it, it's not going to happen. And I'm just going to be exactly where I am right now. And so that has been my philosophy. Just asking, being vulnerable, asking, putting myself out there, and then kind of just dealing with whatever comes as a result of my ask, good or bad.
I love it. So
Yeah.
what's a challenge that you've had recently in your business, and what unique way did you overcome it?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, just picking one. All right. So I would
You
say
could pick two.
right. So my most recent challenge, and honestly, my ongoing challenge, is aligning my business with social media. And I was not a social media person. I was never really online. And so I quickly recognized that in order for my business to grow, I had to somehow incorporate social media. And so that has been my challenge, ongoing and still recent. But how I've overcome it is recognizing what's just not my jam and finding people who like it and saying, hey, go for it, do your thing, make me look fantastic. And then B, also investing in myself. And so I have invested in myself in terms of coaching classes and online courses, and really kind of taking the time to be a student and a learner in that respect as well. Now, am I the expert? Absolutely not. But I certainly know a lot more now in terms of what are those circle things on Instagram? How do you do all the popping up stuff? Like, how are people talking with different voices? Like all of the things that it's just a necessary part of being a business owner, is understanding how to use social media. So that is definitely my recent and ongoing challenge, but I learn honestly every day where that's concerned, for sure.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me? Whoa, I have a case of the too manys, Kristen. I have so many things. Like I'm like, everything's next for me. What are you talking about? But if I had to pick one thing, I would say it's my on-demand courses that I've created for healthcare leaders. So I am getting ready to launch some on-demand courses and actually live coaching classes for healthcare leaders, focused on those same problems that I dealt with for so many years. So that's what's happening. And I'm getting ready to launch those in April.
Exciting stuff. Congratulations. So how can we connect with you? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram, just my name, Therese Gopaul-Robinson, or you can visit my website at theresegr.com, and it's just TheresegR.com.
Awesome. Therese, thank you so much for being here on the Big Meow. And I'm really inspired by your story.
Oh, thank you so much, Kristen. This was a lot of fun. I really had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by C.A.T.S Network. If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. You can also join our network filled with positivity and possibility. Visit www.catsnetworking.com to join us and learn more, together with your magical, motivated, and mystical new friends at C.A.T.S Network. Let's transform 1 million lives with your message. Are you feeling isolated, sitting at home in your PJs? Or perhaps you're tired of the comfy sweatpants with holes in them that are hidden just below the camera? I mean, you could puke at the thought of another day of Zoom meetings and reporting to your BOSS. Do you want freedom from your home office desk or the office cubicle? Do you want freedom from your current career? Or are you frustrated that your online biz dreams are going nowhere? It's all too overwhelming. Where do you start? All the tech, the choices, and your message. Yep, I said your message, your brand, your voice. What is it? Do you even know what that means? Do you need a biz coach but don't want to invest the big bucks? Let's face it, being a solopreneur is lonely, but you don't have to do it alone. And here's a solution. Join C.A.T.S Network. C.A.T.S Network is a woman-only membership community exclusively available to you, the life coach or executive coach, the author, the thought leader, or the public speaker. If you identify with this list or want to work on adding some of these to your skill set, C.A.T.S is the place for you. Check us out at www.catsnetworking.com. That's C.A.T.S networking.com. Because let's face it, cats are better together.